Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's movie blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well, and today, as I'm waiting for the box office numbers to come in for the weekend, I decided to talk about this story right here, which has been covered by many other channels, but I did want to put my own 2 cents into it as well, because I think that it's this type of mindset, it's this type of push from Hollywood that is just pushing so many fans, not only away from franchises, but also away from going out to the theater in the first place, because we're just so sick and tired of identity politics, not just being put into our stories, but also just being put into every single aspect of filmmaking in general. You see this happen all the time whenever the Oscar nominations come out. There's always, this claim that, oh my gosh, they're all a bunch of istophobes because of all these people not getting nominated, etc. And we've fallen away so far from what about people that just simply deserve it because they happen to be the best. And I know that there's definitely some subjective points of view when it comes to that, but I think that we've fallen so far as a society, especially the Hollywood culture has fallen so far within their own societal bubble, that they have everything is focused about race and gender, and it's just become so ridiculous. And so if you haven't heard, Captain Marvel is indeed, the sequel has been officially in the works, has now been officially announced to be in the works, and apparently they are now looking for a female director. Now, I don't care, and guess what? Here's a secret, Hollywood. Most people do not give a damn about the race or gender of the person behind the camera. All we care about as audience members, as consumers, is consuming a product that is good and worth our time. That is all we care about. And so the fact that they continue to push this stuff, they say, oh, no, this is going to be historic. It's going to be the first ever superhero film led by and helmed by an all-female crew. Again, why should that matter? That's why I love going to Deborah Chow. Deborah Chow, who directed a couple great episodes, probably 2 of the best episodes of The Mandalorian, when she was asked in an interview, what do you think of being an Asian female director? And she said, no. I'm a director. Don't put those words on me. Yes, I am Asian. Yes, I am a female, but that has nothing to do with the talent that I have as a director. It has nothing to do with what I'm trying to do here, because all she's trying to do is simply direct. And I feel like a lot of people in Hollywood need to take pick up from what she's laying down, because there's so much truth to it. All that should matter to a person is, hey, I'm trying to give the best performance that I can, meaning that for a producer, their job should be, hey, let me find the best talent that I can, regardless of their race, regardless of their gender, because all you're really doing when you're doing this is you're being a bunch of hypocrites. Because you will go ahead and call people istophobes just because they're going to talk about this news, and then people have already said, oh, my goodness, all the istophobes are out because they're talking about this news, and it's like, no, of course we're going to talk about it because it's ridiculous. The fact that no one's talking about it, I mean, if you went out and you had the news story break that a producer was saying, oh, they're looking for an all-male crew to work on a film, guess what? You would have people complaining about that because or that they said, I want an all-white male crew to work this film. If someone went out of their way to do that and to do that for a film, oh my goodness, they would be called istophobes until they're blue in the face. But when you have something done where it's basically from the opposite perspective of things, if someone says, for example, if an African-American man says, you know what, I'm going to put together an all African-American cast, an all African-American crew, and everything's going to be that. I don't understand why it is that it can only be bad if it's on one side, but it can't be bad when it's on the other. There's just a lot of hypocrisy there overall, and if we know anything about Captain Marvel, they need a good director. The biggest problem, or one of the biggest problems with the first Captain Marvel film, was that the directors did not know how to direct their actors. If anyone, even if you were a fan of Captain Marvel, which again, I know there are people that are fans out there, I think that all of us should be able to come together and say that Brie Larson's performance in that film was not good. It was wooden. It was lacking any life whatsoever. And people sometimes put all the blame on her, but even as far back as that film first coming out, I put most of the blame on the directors. Because I know that when you have someone working with a crew, when you have that relationship between a director and actor, oftentimes it's not just the actor that gives the performance, it's also what the director wants out of the actor that is then portrayed on screen. That's why there are certain people, like Woody Allen, for example, that is known as being actors, directors, because he gets the best performances out of the actors on screen. The duo that ended up taking up the first Captain Marvel film, obviously had no idea what the hell they were doing, because they were looking at these performances. Because keep in mind, a director sees a take and can say, oh, cut, let's redo that again, and can you give us a little bit more personality? Can you give us a little bit more life? But instead, it seemed like these directors saw exactly what she was doing on screen and said, oh, yep, that was great. No life whatsoever. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. We want this character to be completely stoic and lacking any personality whatsoever. And guess what? That is what we got on screen. And obviously, we can put blame on Brie Larson for that. But I think that the most blame has to be put on the directors, because they are the ones that have the final say over any take. They are the ones that can say cut. They are the ones that can go up to the actors and say, this is what I want. This is the vision that I have for this is the vision that I have for the story. That is how production ends up working. So I think for the fact that you have the studio now going out of the way to say, oh, we don't care about whether the director is good or not. All we care about is the gender of the person involved. That is setting up Captain Marvel 2 for complete and utter failure. Because I think that you're going to see that Captain Marvel 2 is not going to be as successful as Captain Marvel 1. That is just a prediction at this point in time, because it's very clear that Marvel seems to be going in a more identity politics-driven direction, not just on camera and not just in the script, but now seemingly behind the camera as well. And we all know what happens whenever films try and do this. We all know what happens whenever studios try and do this. And of course, it's the old adage, get woke, go broke. And it's not just an adage that we say, it's an adage that we can look to and say, oh, look, go ahead and look to Charlie's Angels. Go ahead and look to probably the upcoming Birds of Prey film as well. Those are both cases in which they focus more so on trying to push political messaging and change things for political reasons than for actually telling a good story that people actually wanted to go see. And I think that that is what's going to happen with this film overall, especially since they've already made it very clear that they don't care about getting the best director in the room. They don't care about getting the best director for the job. They don't care about getting someone that's going to give everyone the vision that people will actually want to go see in theaters. All they care about is the gender of the person behind the camera, and it's not just going to be the director either, because it looks like, based on this article right here from Hollywood Reporter, that they are trying to make an all-female creative team. And again, is there anything wrong with that if it happens naturally? Absolutely not. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. The problem is that when you try and force that nonsense, it usually leads to really bad stories being told, and it usually leads to bad films. And it's not because of the women being involved in the projects. It's because when you try and force it, saying, I'm going to overlook better, more competent people that actually might fit perfectly with the universe and the direction and the style that we're trying to go for here, instead I'm going to go with someone that might not be nearly as talented. And the only reason why I'm going for them is because of their gender. I think it's pretty ridiculous overall. And anyway, what are your thoughts about this? Again, I know that a lot of people have already talked about it, but I just think it's so ridiculous that, again, if you try and flip this on its head, everyone was going after... for example, everyone was going after, oh my goodness, I'm blanking on his name, the director for Jordan Peele. Everyone was going after Jordan Peele for the filming of Us, and he was asked the question, do you think you would ever make a film with a white female lead? Or he rather said in a comment saying, I don't think I could ever make a film with that. And everyone was freaking out saying, oh my gosh, why is no one going after it? And I think that people were right to go after that aspect of it, but I didn't go after him. And the reason why I didn't go after him is because he has every right to say that. Just like I think any person has every right to say the exact opposite of that. If a white director was asked that same question and said, oh, I could never see that happening, that person should be given the same ability to do so. The problem, though, is that we live in a world and society, and especially a culture in Hollywood, where only one side is presented. Only one side is respected, and if you represent even just an inkling of any other perspective on any issue whatsoever, you're immediately called a nistophobe. And I think that kind of culture needs to end, because it's leading to really bad movies, and it's going to end to a lot of really talented people being either pushed out or blacklisted in Hollywood, and I think it's going to end up leading to just terrible films down the road. But anyway, let me know your thoughts about this story in the comments section below. If you like this video, smash the like button, give me a subscribe. It helps me out a lot. You're all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless. And now I want to give a shout out to my January Patreon members: animation commentator Brian P, Dion, Divex, Elizabeth M, Enrique Evangelista, fan addicts of film, Father Christopher Miller, hail Father, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Intertrap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, J.J. Jonathan Jerembeck, Lady T, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin, Orange Hat Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Sir Lanceloto, Theodore Bendon, The DJD Show, Those Two Ball Guys, and Tina B, and Sharon Ferguson. Sharon! Thank you so much for being Patreon members. And of course, to my Subscribe Star peeps, Larry, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, G2Cool99, Darkstar57, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J-Rod the Beer Guru, Nebalan G. Adams, and ZK-Man. Thank you so much for supporting me this month. You guys freaking rock. And a special news shout out to Jeff Lebowski and Steve Glasker. God bless.